how long I've been running. Time doesn't work right anymore. It stretches. It folds in on itself. My lungs burn so badly, I start to taste metal. My legs feel hollow, like they're moving on memory alone. Every time I slow down, even for a second, I hear it again. Bare feet, slapping wet leaves, somewhere behind me. Not close, not far, just close enough to make sure I don't stop. The chant keeps looping in my head. I don't remember when it started, and I don't know if I ever said it out loud. They weren't supposed to find us. We went into the woods thinking we were prepared. There were 5 of us: Alex, Max, Rachel, Jen, and myself. Friends from college, early 20s, the kind of people who stayed up too late talking about things we didn't really believe in, but wanted to. The occult wasn't religion to us. It was youthful curiosity, a way to feel like the world still had edges we hadn't reached yet. We packed flashlights, tarot cards, demonic symbols, candles we bought from a grocery store. No one brought weapons. That should tell you everything. The clearing came from an old blog post, buried years deep. All that was left was a blurry screenshot with a couple of comments. People talked about the place like it was hollow, like something there echoed more than it should. We treated it like a myth. The hike took longer than expected. Our phones lost signal early. The woods grew quiet in a way I couldn't explain. No birds, no insects, just the sound of our own footsteps, and even those felt wrong, too loud, like the forest was listening. Alex joked about it being a bad sign. We laughed, but nobody joked twice. By the time we reached the clearing, the sun was already sinking. It felt smaller than it should have been. The trees leaned inward, branches tangled like fingers. The ground was soft, damp, dark. No trail markers, no signs of campers. That should have been another sign. A woman emerged from the forest and told us to be quiet. We were puzzled and couldn't decide between running away and listening to what she had to say. She picked up a piece of chalk and charcoal pressed into the dirt. Nothing elaborate. She drew a pentagram we'd seen repeated across different texts. I could tell she just wanted to. I remember thinking it felt fake. Like a performance, Alex played quiet music from their phone to ease into the mood. Then the battery warning appeared. That's when I smelled it. Not smoke, something sweeter, sharp, almost chemical. It clung to the back of my throat. I asked if anyone else noticed. They shrugged. Jen said maybe it was burning sage nearby. We laughed again. That was the last normal moment. They didn't rush us. That was the first thing that felt wrong. They stayed just outside the clearing, half hidden by trees, like they were unsure where to stand, or like they were waiting for permission. No one spoke for a long time. I could hear my own heartbeat, loud, uneven. One of them was humming, low off key, a sound that didn't repeat the same way twice. Another kept rubbing his hands together, staring at the chalk symbols like they were moving. I realized then that they weren't looking at us. They were listening. One of my friends whispered my name. I didn't answer. My mouth felt dry, heavy. The smell was stronger now. Crushed leaves, wet earth, something bitter underneath it all. I remembered reading about certain mushrooms that grew within this region, how people said they changed the way time felt. One of the barefoot men suddenly laughed. It came out wrong, too loud, too sharp. He clapped his hands once, then froze. His head tilted slightly, like he was hearing something we were. "Did you hear that?" he asked. None of us answered. The woman who had traced the symbols earlier sat down cross-legged inside the circle. She closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. That's when I noticed something else. The forest wasn't quiet anymore. It was holding its breath. No wind, no birds. Even the leaves seemed still. One of my friends tried to speak again. Her voice cracked immediately. "We didn't mean." The woman inside the circle opened her eyes. "They never do," she said softly. She looked at me when she said it. I don't know why. Another one of them began walking the edge of the clearing, barefoot steps pressing into the soil. Each step landed close to the chalk line, never crossing it, like he was measuring something. Someone behind me started crying. I wanted to turn around, to check who it was. I didn't. I was afraid if I moved, something would start. The humming changed. It matched the rhythm of my breathing. I tried to slow down. It didn't help. The man pacing the circle stopped directly in front of me. He leaned forward slightly, not threatening, curious. "You already opened it a little," he said. My throat tightened. "We didn't open anything," I said. He smiled. That's what the others said too. My stomach dropped. "What others?" someone asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he reached down and pressed his fingers into the dirt. Then he lifted his hand. The chalk dust clung to his skin. He frowned at it, confused, like he couldn't remember how it got there. Behind him, another one of them started whispering. Not words, just breath, in and out, too fast. The woman inside the circle began rocking gently. Her lips moved. I recognized one of the phrases, then another. My chest tightened. She was repeating pieces of the ritual, out of order, like fragments she'd overheard once and never forgotten. "That's not how it goes," I said. "I don't know why I said it. She stopped rocking, looked up at me, smiled. That's how it goes now. Something snapped inside me then, a sense that we had stayed too long, that whatever choice we could have made, we'd already missed it. That's when one of them stepped forward, too fast, into the circle. They stepped out of the trees like they'd been there the whole time. 6 of them, maybe more, barefoot, dirty, wearing layers of fabric that didn't belong together. Beads, feathers, twine. Their pupils were blown wide, eyes glassy, unfocused. One of them smiled at us, not friendly, not threatening, like we were late. "Are you opening it?" he asked. His voice sounded damaged, raw, like someone who hadn't stopped screaming in days. We tried to explain, said we were just hiking, just hanging out. They didn't seem to hear us. One of the women knelt down and traced the symbols perfectly. That's when I noticed their hands, scratched raw, stained dark. They smelled like crushed plants, mushrooms, leaves, strong ones, the kind you don't come back from easily. They weren't aggressive. That scared me more. One of them swayed back and forth, whispering to himself. Another stared up into the trees, crying quietly. Someone in our group whispered that we should leave. Someone else said we shouldn't break the circle. The argument never finished. One of them lunged forward, not at us, into the circle. He grabbed dirt and smeared it across his face. Laughing, that's when someone screamed. And then, run. The forest swallowed us. Branches tore at my arms. Roots caught my feet. I could hear laughter behind me. Not chasing, guiding. I heard them talking. Broken sentences. Overlapping voices. They hear it. Not all yet. Keep them moving. I tripped and fell down a muddy slope. When I looked up, one of them stood nearby, still, listening. He wasn't chasing. I ran again. I lost the others. The paths stopped making sense. I passed the same tree twice. The chanting came back, softer now, comforting. Then it hit me. They were saying words from our ritual, not guessing, reciting. A scream cut through the woods. Short, then silence. I didn't go toward it. I burst into the clearing. The same clearing. Fresh symbols carved into the dirt. My backpack lay open. They stepped out of the trees calmly, focused. One of them looked at me with pity. "It's easier if you stop fighting it," she said. I asked what they'd done to my friends. She didn't answer. "It likes new voices," someone said. My legs gave out. The chanting grew louder. Then I realized I was whispering the words too. When I woke up, it was morning. Birds had returned. The The clearing looked ordinary, too ordinary. I walked for hours before finding a road. They found 2 of us. The others are still missing. Authorities say it was drugs, shared delusions. They asked if I believed in the occult. I said no, but sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I hear it again. A rhythm, a phrase I almost remember. And I wonder, when those people in the woods were listening, what do you think they heard first?